today's 1B of the main, and I'm going to jump in. The original plan was to play day 1C and play from hand 1. But today I've slept in, got some rest. I played the 25k yesterday and bubbled that. That was fun. That was fun to be the bubble guy. I spent today just reviewing hands I played in the 25k because I potentially misplayed a couple, had a couple of questions I wanted to answer. So spent some time in the labs, just sharpen up a bit. So now that I'm here, I feel like it's a good time to jump in because I feel a little bit fresh. And so halfway through level 3, which is 150 big blinds, it's such a good tournament. It's so slow. It's a very special tournament. I want to talk about my strategy for the main event and also for other tournaments, but particularly the main event because it's so special. I think it's going to be a tournament of spot passing. So you get presented a given spot, you get dealt a hand, you get dealt a flop, you face a certain action, you face someone betting or raising, and instead of just playing your hand that you have, you also have to play your tournament. So what kind of edge do I get in this particular hand? How much EV do I get on making this decision versus if I pass the spot, if it's thin, how many better spots will pop up in the future? And when you have 90-minute levels in the main event in a pretty good field, there's going to be so many spots in the future. So that just means that you don't want to risk too many chips on things that are marginal. You just want to take low variance where you can, take really good edges, and if things are a bit thin or a bit dicey, you're allowed to pass. So that's going to be my plan for the main event. Having said all that, feeling pretty good given that the rest that I've had and the work that I've done this morning. So I'm going to go jump in. Let's have some better luck than the previous few bubbles that I've had. Let's go. First break, and it's definitely a slow tournament. There's lots of limping. There's no big pots. In fact, there was a 4-way limped pot and 2 people had ace king. So that's the kind of slowness I'm talking about. I've chipped up a little bit. There was one guy who limped in. One guy limps in, small blind limps in. I raised 4x from the big blind, queen spades, jack of hearts. It's a little bit loose, but given the limping, I think it's all right. The flop comes jack, diamond, 9 spades, 7 spades. I bet 1/3 pot, both call. We go, okay, pot's getting big now. I've only got a medium top pair. Turns an offsuit 6. I bet 4 into 10. And in position calls, small blind folds. Like, all right, this guy's getting a bit sticky. Let's hope for a safe river. River's a 5, so now any 8 makes a straight. And I'm not really sure what to put him on. I check and he checks back. I show my jack and I'm good. So decent start. Yep, very slowly. It's definitely a marathon. So just pacing ourselves now. Table's quite friendly, good atmosphere, lots of fun. Everyone's having a good time, playing some cards. And let's go back in again. We're on dinner break and I'm going to get straight into a key hand of that level. I open king queen offsuit from under the gun and I get 3 calls, and the flop comes king 4 2 rainbow. I go b33 and the big blind calls. The turn's a queen, which is excellent. I got two pair and there's a flush draw now. So I go 80% pot. I just go real big. He calls again. When he calls, he's looking a little bit cagey. He puts the call in and the river becomes a jack, completes the backdoor flush. I check my cards for the king of spades, and yep, I've got the king of spades, so he can't have pair of kings that backdoor to flush. He checks, and I think there's a little bit of value to be had. He can make king jack on the river. He could have had, say, queen 4, queen deuce that had 2 pair. Maybe he calls king 10, maybe. So I go b50. get a little bit of value. I bet 16 into 28, and he checker raises me to 35. So I go 16 to 28, he check raises to 35. I've got the king of spades, so we can't have a king high flush. And I'm just like, oh, what a spot. So like counting out my chips, like just having a bit of a think, trying to get a read. What's he look like? Does he look comfortable or nervous? And when he check raises this side, it's very rarely a bluff. He's not looking nervous at all. And I give him a bit of a couple of glances. He's not nervous. And if I fold, I'll still have 35K. And if I call and lose, I'll be down to, I don't know, maybe like less than 20K. And sticking with the theme of the start where I said you gotta pass the marginal spots, I think bluffs are gonna be so rare. And I can see him having a flush, whether it's like ace deuce of spades, or maybe like a jack deuce of spades, or like an ace three of spades for a flopped gut shot. So I'll make the fold. Brings me down to 35K. He later tells me he had ace five of spades, and I believe him. So I'm 35K. Now you get this psychological problem that you have to deal with. That I've only got half start stack now. It's not going well, and it's a bit of a mental battle. I play a few more hands, but end the break at 30K. So we're going to come back with 50 bigs. The blinds will be 3-6. I got 30K, and psychologically it's tough because half start stack, but got to try really hard to put all that aside because really 50 bigs is a lot of chips. Like I grinded the 25K all day yesterday with like 20 bigs and lasted for hours, and that was a much tougher tournament. So just got to get over that little mental hurdle, still try and play good poker, and hopefully I'm still in with a bigger stack on the next break. So I sit down first hand and I'm thinking to myself, reflecting on what I said on break, how I had the mental barrier, the mental handicap, and I thought, it's just too negative. And instead I reframed it. I said to myself, imagine I bought in for the main event, and instead of buying in for 60K chips, I buy in for 30K chips. How much of a fun challenge would it be to try and spin up half a stack? So from the first hand, it instantly changed my mood and just felt a lot more free. So that's a good little reframe that I did. In terms of hands, nothing special, just a lot of small pots. One fun one that I think is a small pot that's worth talking about is the small blind raises. I call the big blind ace-8 offsuit, and the flop comes 6 deuce deuce. He checks, I put in a little small bet, he calls. Turns to 3, suits don't matter, stacks don't really matter. He checks and I bet small again, he folds. And I like this hand because I think a lot of people like to check back these spots, but I think it's just good to push a little equity. He told me he had broadways, and it's a nice one just to push him off and just win the pot always instead of him realizing, say, 15% equity. I got 37K stack and feeling good. Nothing happening all day, just thinking about spots I could have done differently, and I really can't think of anything. Just nothing popped up. One spot that did pop up though was I changed table and 3 limps, low jack limps, cutoff limps, and small blind limps. I've got pocket jacks in the big blind with 30 bigs. Now, do you raise small here? Do you raise big there? Or do you just jam all in? And I thought the best idea was to jam all in because there's more than 10% of my stack out there. I can just jam, pick it up, and I think I can get called by worse. Yeah, you got to think about some traps sometimes, but I think I can get called by worse. And here's what happened. Oh my God. Queens versus jacks.
Did what did I say earlier on? When I...
Jack. Oh!
Do you remember what it is? What did that say?
Boom! Jack on the river. Whoa. Jack on the river. And bagged up 50K, 51K to be precise, and come back day 2. A little bit less than the starting stack, but I'll tell you what, it's better than the 20K I was sitting on. So day 2, very happy. See you soon.